My name's Joseph Panapa. I'm a hairdresser. I'm a native of Florida, been here 45 years. I like to do everything outside, at the beach mostly, anything with water.
Joe is an avid surfer, but after one specific surfing trip, he started experiencing low back pain that forced him to change his lifestyle.
My pain started probably about 6-7 years ago. I was on a surf trip and this was the last wave of the trip. It's like literally from that wave to the shower, to the shuttle, to the airplane. I knew I tweaked something in my back, wasn't really sure how bad it was, but as we got closer to the airport and then as we landed in Miami, I'd realized once I get home, I'm gonna be in some serious pain. And I couldn't get out of the car by the time I got home. I had to literally lift my leg up to get out of the car. Anytime I sat for longer than 20 minutes, I'd start to get heat radiating down my left side of my back of my leg. So I could stand all day. I could work 10 hours all day. I'd get in my car, and by the time I'd get to the first red light, I knew I wouldn't be able to get out of the car when I got home, just because it would literally freeze up on me that quick. The next year following that was a complete lifestyle change for me. I had to quit lifting all weights, running, sprinting. That was a big part of my routine. And it was eliminated from me because I couldn't. Everything I did now caused me pain, and excruciating pain. I had to make some decisions. I had to figure out how I can live with this. I did attempt in getting a cortisone shot. It helped me. And I lost a lot of weight, but I was managing. Found yoga. There'd be some times where I'd push it too far. If I went on a surf trip, for sure, that was the next 2-3 weeks, I was gonna be in some pretty bad shape.
He lived like this for the next 4 or 5 years. Then things took a turn for the worse.
My neck really started giving me a challenge. I'd wake up with headaches every day, not being able to sleep. There was nothing I could do. At the time I was taking, I don't know how many different Advil in the morning, Tylenol in the afternoon, Aleve at night, and then something before I went to bed. The doctor who ordered the MRI, when they read it, they told me, they said, this is degenerative. And it's fine right now, you're in pain. Once it gets to a certain point, when it gets to nerve degeneration, you have to do something because there's no coming back from that part. How will I know? So when you start to get a little radiation, a little heat, I was like, okay, I don't have that. This is just headaches and neck aches, right? And then I started getting this radiation down my shoulder, and I was like, uh-oh. And that was another, I was like, I have to do something at this point, because now in my mind, I'm still trying to play it cool, but in my mind, I'm like, I know now that they said, once it starts doing that, you really have to do something.
With the use of his arms and hands in jeopardy, Joe knew it was time to reach out to a specialist. He spoke with a friend about who to see.
I was at the beach where we're normally at. My best friend's daughter was there, and she had worked at the Spine Institute over by the mall. And I was telling her, I said, I have to do something. The headaches it's unbearable. And she said, well, from what I understand, from what I hear, that if you go anywhere, you need to go to the Bonati Spine Institute. That's a pretty bold statement, especially for someone who doesn't work at the Bonati Spine Institute. And she told me, she said, from what I hear, there's other surgeons and the way they talk, that's the place. I gave them a call, kind of asked questions. At that point, that's where they helped me so much initially, just understanding what the process was. They were very honest and upfront with it. That's how I got there, just by a reference from someone who was indirectly in the industry.
After talking with the staff by phone and formulate a preliminary plan, Joe came to the Institute to meet with Bonati neurosurgeon Dr. Thomas Nowak. He had one procedure scheduled for each in his low back and neck.
At first we went over the lumbar, and they explained it was L4, L5, and it was where it was pushing, exactly why. And they showed why it was doing it, why it was sitting on it, what was pushing on, and the reaction for that. In my neck, they showed, what was causing my headaches. There were C3s, he's showing you the picture, this is what it is. Down the rest of my neck, showing this is what's causing that down your arm. So we started off with the lumbar, and then we went to C3 after that. Morning of post-op by my neck, I'm asking them if what else can we line up? I'm off the next 3 weeks. What can we get in? Because I can do this for sure.
Though it had only been a couple days of recovery, Joe was excited to finish his surgical summary. He completed his final procedures in the next 2 weeks to treat his multi-level degeneration.
They let me know prior that I would be awake. I wasn't really sure how that was going to go. I didn't have an expectation of it. Just kind of, I was impressed how the anesthesiologist, I mean, even after everything, like I walked out of there, I wasn't like groggy. I was really, really clear. I mean, every single time too. Like I was enough to be coherent. They asked questions, and then after the surgeon would ask questions, if I feel this, is this where the pain was? I mean, I talked with the guys during the procedure.
Because surgical guests are awake during the Bonati spine procedures, they are able to actually watch their procedure on a floor monitor located under the operating table.
It was like right below you, so you could kind of see. I don't think it was for everybody when I talk about it. I say, yeah, like. Here, you're face down, you can like see what they're doing. Like, did you watch it? It's like, well, yeah, it was kind of cool. So, I mean, you don't really feel it unless like when they ask you, if is this where your pain goes down that far? I said, that you can feel it. And I said, that's kind of weird and kind of cool at the same time that you can see, they touch you here and you can feel it all the way down your arm.
Joe's procedures were completed in early March 2020. Just 5 days after his final surgery, he had 1 day back in the salon. Then COVID-19 caused widespread closures in the state of Florida, and Joe's salon was forced to temporarily close. But that meant he was afforded some extra time to relax and truly observe his healing process.
Probably the first week of quarantine, whereas I don't have any headaches. There's nothing going on. And also, it's during quarantine. We were sitting around watching TV. We watched 2 movies back to back, and I said, I'm not in pain. Are you serious? Yeah, I had nothing. Nothing. As far as the ability to tell a difference, it was almost immediately just because I didn't have headaches every day. That was the biggest part. And then the rest of it was just as going on gradually, like, oh, I'm doing this, or I'm sitting here, or we drove across the state. It's like, I'm okay.
Since Florida's reopening and his personal recovery, Joe has returned to his active life, including vacationing and surfing. He and his wife have even opened their own salon in South Tampa called Hair and Soul.
We just got back from a trip to Missouri, so that's a pretty good test. It's a 2-hour flight, driving most of the time, sitting a lot of the time, then coming back. So that was a good way to gauge what we're going to look like. Everybody has either a family member, themselves, their best friend, who has some kind of neck or back issue. And through my experience with the Bonati Spine Institute, I mean, that's the only experience I've had, and I mean, I can't imagine a better one. From the results that I've had in the life that I'm able to live at this moment, I definitely tell them the Bonati Spine Institute.
To see more stories of recovery just like this, search for the Bonati Spine Institute on Roku, Google Play Store, Apple's App Store, and Amazon Fire TV.